So I would like to welcome everyone to the Laboratory of Redemption. It is week 41. Our topic for the month has been Spring into Action. Before we get started with everything, I would like to go ahead and explain our mission statement, our purpose, our vision, and our core values. The mission statement of the 360 Adjuster Academy is to provide premier training and mentorship to new and existing independent insurance adjusters so that they can become subject matter experts within the insurance adjuster industry. Our core principles are faith, which is a firm belief in something for which there is no proof, integrity, firm adherence to a code of especially moral or artistic values, resilience, the ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change, which is thriving in spite of circumstances. And number four is production. Production is the act or process of creating something of value, such as goods or services, and specifically in the insurance adjuster industry, closing a claim. Our business model at 360 is come find your vision within our vision. A self-introduction of myself. My name is Kayvon Quasey Hill. I am a 27-year-old young man from New Orleans, Louisiana. I live in Houston. I've been an adjuster for about 2 years now. I started off an adjuster just like everyone in here, with no experience, just taking a leap of faith with starting a new career. I was referred to do this job by my good friend Major Adams, who's also a part of the 360 Adjuster Academy family. He started it back in, I believe, like 2017, 2018. At the time he was doing it, we were roommates, and he was leaving. He went to Florida. I believe that's where he met Travis and Meech. And he was telling me like, yeah, man, I'm being an insurance adjuster, and he, Major, he's a man of a few words at times. So it's like he told me what he was doing, but it's like I didn't really understand what he was doing for real. So it's like back then, I was fresh out of college. I had just graduated from LSU, and I started working at Enterprise Rental Car. So I was trying to focus on I want to do something with my degree. I went to school for all these years. Let me try to do something in the corporate world, and woo. And then Major, he went to Florida, and he came back, and I was like, man, Juice, like, how much did you make, in the 2 weeks you out there? And I can't remember specifically, so I'm just throwing a number out there, but I believe it was like, what, Juice, like 6,000 or something, I think you told me, in like 2 weeks, it would have taken me 2 months to make that at Enterprise. But, me being, someone, a lot of times when you tell people about a new idea or a new career or something like that, and you hear about someone making money that amount of money when that's not something that you've heard before, you're not used to, it's kind of like it's too good to be true to certain people. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not gonna just be like, oh, okay, like maybe I should do this too. It's like, oh, really? Okay. Like it sounds like, oh, that's just something that you got lucky with, which that's what a lot of people that I first introduced, especially just into that's the kind of like energy that I got from them. It's like I'm telling them about it, and they're like, man, bro, like that's good for you, man. Like, and I'm like, man, you should do it too, man. I was like, yeah, bro, yeah, we'll talk about it. But it's like this is legit, like like K Joy mentioned. I don't know if it was the last Laboratory of Redemption or our last like weekly meetings that we have, but I think it was on Thursday where she mentioned she was like, insurance adjusting is something that anyone can do. We can offer this idea, this career to anyone. It doesn't take a specific criteria, as long as you go ahead and go get your license, besides like, the things as far as like, legal troubles or something like that that could prevent you. But we could introduce this idea to anyone. So but yeah, like with that being said, I had, finally taking that leap of faith in 2019 to just go ahead and get my license. I was sick of Enterprise, and I did it. Took me a couple of months. I had like a slow waiting season, like what we're in right now. And around this time, or getting towards this time in May of 2022, I got my first deployment. Went to Minnesota, and I haven't looked back since. Life has completely changed for me. God has blessed me in many ways. Most importantly, He's blessed me with this career. I love it. This is the first job that I've ever done where I enjoy doing it. I don't mind doing it. I don't dread working. Of course, it can be overwhelming at times, but it's like it's overwhelming, but it's a good overwhelming. For one, you're learning something that can pertain to your life. You want to know stuff about your home. You know, you want to know if a natural disaster comes and affects your home. You want to know, hey, like I'm not getting messed over by this contractor that's telling me I need to get this fixed when actually it's only this. And so. But yeah, with that being said, that's a brief introduction of myself. I would like to go ahead and remind you all to please fill out our feedback form if you haven't already. And if you have any questions that you need answers to, please drop them in the chat. Like I mentioned, our motto, or I'm sorry, y'all, I'm trying to get my words together. Our topic for the month is Spring Into Action. To give a little insight on that, it's a little play on words. We're in spring. Well, I'm not sure if it's officially spring yet, but I know that this is that time of the year. But we're springing into action. Around this time is when things start to bloom, they start to blossom. People get more energy. It's getting darker at a later time. It's just that time of the year where things starting to pick up. So specifically with the insurance adjuster industry, we're springing into action. We're blooming right now. We're about to blossom. We're about to show off our colorful auras and show the world and our family, our friends, and everyone like what we can do, what we're capable of. So that's my insight on springing into action. It's just getting busy, getting to it. So with that being said, I would like to state that our guest speaker for today is Miss Kandace Johnson, Coach K Joy, and she will be coming on giving us great information. But I'll go ahead and introduce and transition to the wonderful Janae.
Oh, thank you. Can you guys hear me? If you can give me a 2 in the chat just to make sure. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Good. Okay. Yeah. All right, perfect. Well, happy Sunday for starters. Thank you all for being here as usual. I love when, we're all gathered every Sunday. It's a lovely thing. My name is Janae Aiken, for those that don't know. The topic of this month, like Kayvon said, has been Spring Into Action. I mean, we've been talking about it for a few weeks now. At this point, bringing into action for me looks like, continuing to email firms, maybe those firms that you emailed a couple months ago, reaching back out to them, getting on some of the smaller firms' rosters, not just focusing on like the top 10 biggest firms out there. And reaching out to managers. I know for myself, I'll be reaching out to a couple of the managers, the ones that I like. I'll be reaching out to a couple of them just to check in, we already know that, deployments are a little slow right now, but just to check in. You never know what type of insight your managers could give you to what's going on in the industry right now. I know for myself, this community has been very, very big for me. I think mentally by now, if I didn't have this community, I think my faith would have been tested a lot harder at this point. I feel very blessed to have a community like this, just to talk to. There's other people in here. Well, obviously all of us were kind of in the same boat. So it's nice to just see that, okay, we're all kind of uncomfortable in some circumstances, but we're remaining steadfast like we've been discussing previously. This community has helped me remain patient. When I think about this community, I really do smile because it's like the future makes me smile. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only for the opportunities that I'll get, but just to see what you guys do with it once you get the chance. I want to see really who's going to put their money where their mouth is. Like, ooh, we've been waiting so patiently to get out there and kill it. Like, patiently. So I'm very much just looking forward to everyone getting to it. I won't go into too many, I won't, take up too much of your time, but next week I will be speaking, and I'll pretty much just be going over like how to take proper photos for your file, and that initial inspection note. So make sure you tune in next week for that. Lastly, please continue to fill out the feedback form. Obviously, we're always looking to see what you guys want to hear or want us to talk about. And also for the guest speaker, please put any questions that you may have into the chat so that we can make sure that we get that answered. Speaking of guest speaker, like Kayvon mentioned, it is the lovely K Joy. She is in a managerial position, so when she speaks, I tend to listen. I advise you do the same. Ms. Kayjoy, if you don't mind coming off of mute and blessing us with your presence, please.
All right. Thanks. I appreciate that. To be honest, this week, a lot of times I spend time talking with you guys about things that I've been through. We talk about, the word of the month and all these different things. This week, we're going to shift that a little bit. We really want to get y'all some hands-on time with getting things done that you need to get done. So if you heard, you heard the two before me say, we're talking about springing into action. What better way to make sure y'all are ready, truly ready? A lot of weeks you'll hear us say, get licensed, check out this, check out that, make sure you got this equipment, have you gotten on rosters? Well, this week is the week we want you to put your pen to the paper, right? Whether that's Word, whatever it is. So we're going to really talk through what that looks like. And I want you to take time. We're going to pause as we're doing this and talking through it for you to actually do it while we're on with you, right? So we can answer questions, we can share resources. That way, no one after this call that misses this call, or if you miss it, you can catch the recording. You can always, it's always good to check the recordings out anyway. I don't know about y'all. I like to just listen to them and catch what I missed. But in addition to that, you actually will leave today, if you would like to, with actual work done, right? We are in the middle of spring, like they said, we're in the middle of go time. So as things ramp up, if you have these things done and you're ready to go, you should be good to get on the road, hopefully, when you get that call. So I know a lot of times we talk through a lot of those things, but like I said, today, I really want us to work with you guys on making sure you've got that done. For some of y'all that are already past that point, I'm gonna, just apologize. You may feel like this was not the best call for you today, but for us, it's really important to make sure we don't want to leave anyone behind. We also want to make sure, everybody's not able to make the call every week. And for us, it's really important to help you guys with that step-by-step to make sure you are ready to spring into action. So I'll just say a little bit in reference to that, and then we'll jump right into go mode. So when I think about springing into action, at this point in time, it really is about preparing and being ready. We can't say that enough. Like I said, we drop snippets, I think, in my opinion, every week about how to make sure that you are ready every week to go, to go out. Or if you're gearing up to get ready, because some of y'all are still working on licensing, we try to drop things along the way, right? Throughout all of our stories that are on the team. We talk about that on Thursdays. We talk about what to bring you guys. And then I know really looking out at what you guys ask for in the feedback forum. Thanks, Travis, for dropping that in the chat. I just saw that. So, all right. So when I think about springing into action, when I started gearing up for this topic, I wanted to think about what it aligns with besides just like really putting the work in. And to me, it made me think about when I learned to drive a stick shift. I got to tell y'all, I'm definitely an automatic girl. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I've driven a stick all my life. Absolutely not. I took a year from working in the insurance world because of losing a parent, grieving, need to move back out of state, from out of state to in state. And my job didn't transfer because I was on CAT at the time and it was really competitive to get back. And long story short, I wasn't going to get to just transfer back. I was like, you can come back to Texas and reapply for your job. Okay, great. So I quit. I started not driving cars. I started selling cars for a living. And in the midst of that, they were like, well, you do pretty well, but we haven't seen you sell any stick shifts. And I was like, well, I can't drop one. So they started talking to me about, learning to do that. And so when I think about springing in action, I kind of think about that, right? When you start learning something new, and for me, I'm going to talk about driving a stick shift. It's a whole different world if you're used to driving an automatic car, right? So we help prepare you guys for springing into action. For me, it's about getting one gear into the next gear. And I don't know how to drive a stick shift. If you want to drop a 2 in the chat, I'd love to have an idea of how many of you guys are fluent in driving a stick. And I say guys, I mean ladies are on the call, so please don't take that offensively. But when I think about it, I think about how my GM, I watched him drive a few times. I watched some of the other guys I work with drive a few times. And I still in my head was just like, to themselves when they're driving. I don't know. I mean, when I'm driving, I want to turn on some good tunes. I want to be able to kind of zone out. I definitely don't want to focus like I'm going up a hill. When do I shift? Am I going to kill my car in the meantime? But when you sell cars, you kind of don't have a choice. You need to be able to offer the gamut, right? You don't want to limit yourself. Definitely the money is different. And the last thing you want to do is be like somebody comes in and like, I'm looking for a manual. And you're like, I can't do that. So I'm going to let that commission go. Same thing with Springing into Action team. So when we talk to you guys about getting licensed, things like that, whatever you're doing in your life, even if you're looking at trying to work out, whatever it is you're trying to learn, at some point you've got to gear up. You got to get out of park, get into first gear, and then eventually get into second and get going, right? And you got to know when to shift down. So let's jump right into it. When I think about the first things we've talked to you all about, I'm going to drop some things in the chat that, you know, if you're in that part of it, you know, this will help you map that out. You leave with things today, tangible things you can drop in. Anyone that needs to be licensed still as an adjuster, can I get you to drop in the chat a 1?
Is it just chopping up for me, y'all? I think it's chopping. Well, I'm not sure.
No, it's chopping on. It's chopping up on my end too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to want to go through with you. And then why state do that and actually watch really quick. Okay. All right. Sorry. Let's see. Can y'all hear me better now?
Yes, we can.
Not
It's clear.
sure.
Yes, that's a lot better.
Okay. All right. Thanks. All right. So I just dropped in some questions you'll want to think about if you're still pending getting licensed for an adjuster to become an adjuster. So maybe you've been working on it, but you haven't quite been able to get through everything. Then you're going to have to figure out what your home state requires. And if you don't know what your home state is, it's where you're based out of, where you typically reside. Okay. Is there anyone that is still working on that point? If you're not shy enough, you know, I don't want you to be embarrassed. This isn't an embarrassing moment. This is literally like, let's help move the needle forward. So everyone's good. Everyone's licensed. I love it. Are we really past that?
No, let's ask
Right.
a question. We got people working on other licenses when it comes to states, such as, like Michigan or wherever else. Want to make sure that we address that too.
Say that one more time, Travis. Let's address what?
I was saying, we have folks working on other licenses, such as Michigan or wherever else that may be. That's the thing as well, getting other licenses outside of home state.
Sure. So, okay, yeah. So if you're already licensed in your primary state, you'll want to apply for other states based on, you'll hear us talk about getting licensed in states based on the weather. I think I hear Janae say it probably the most. I always hear it in my head anyway. So you want to think about the seasons we're in. And some of y'all, I know you're newer, so you may not realize how that kind of flows. But for example, we're in the middle of wind and hail season right now. So you probably have heard us say on the last few calls, you want to think about states in the Midwest. So things like Illinois, you want to think about like Hawaii, I can't talk today, Ohio, Kentucky, things like that. Texas is big if that's not your main state right now. It's a good one to get. Things like that. Michigan, honestly, at this point, I'd probably wait till closer to colder weather, is my opinion. But that's just if you're trying to figure out money, right? Each license, every time you apply for a license, it's going to cost you. So a lot of times you'll hear us say too, make sure, if it's a money thing, you want to strategically plan based on, like where we're headed based on weather. So right now we are in wind and hail season. So you want to think about that. I'm not going to say I wouldn't go for Florida if you're pressed for money right now, but Florida is probably going to be closer to hurricane season when you're going to see more activity there. You are still getting right now. There's still claims going on in New York, whether it's daily claims. And when I say daily, that could be like a broken pipe. It could be, somebody hit the house. I mean, there could be multiple things when we say daily claims. Cat claims, which a lot of the reasons why many people are deployed or put on assignment is going to be things like, wind and hail, tornadoes, storms, things like that. New York still, I mean, there was some stuff, there's definitely been activity up there, New York, Maine, different things of that nature. And you can apply for those as if you have your home state. When you go in to apply for those, it's going to ask you what your home state is and some information. And then once you do that, it'll tell you like how much, because each state's a little different as far as how much you pay per state. Travis, is that what you were wanting us to hit on that?
Yes, but yeah, that for sure. But also not thinking that because I have my home state, I'm guaranteed to work. Because if you don't have other licenses in other states, you can't work because it's illegal. That was kind of it as well.
Right. Yeah, so that's very true, right? So once you have your home state, you definitely want to look into other states. You do have to have the state you're looking to work in, you'll need to have that license before you can go there and work. Now, not say you can't be working on it in the process, that you get that call, you haven't applied for it yet, go ahead and send in that application, get it going. When they hire you though, they may ask you, right? They may ask Ricky, you know, are you licensed to work in Maine, you know, in New York? And he needs to answer. Now, New York is a state where you have to test, just like California. It's not one that you can just apply for and get the license. So that's also something you want to look into before just, you know, kind of, I'm going to wait till later in time to get it. Maybe when you get that call. Some of them will move pretty quick. Some of them won't. It'll probably depend more on your background. And if you have anything in that background, you just want to be aware and make sure you have everything ready to go. Any questions around licensing though? If there is someone on here that has not gotten licensed that would like to talk through some things before we go on to the next topic? No, all right.
I do. What are some of the so I know we said Michigan. I know we said Michigan and a couple of other states, but is it any other states that like in particular that we need to try to like get right now?
I would definitely say the Midwest states. So, you know, like Illinois, Ohio, Kentucky. I would definitely go for Texas. Texas is big because of wind and hail. A lot of times you'll see stuff Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi. Anyone else want to chime in? I don't want to take away. We have a lot of expertise on this call, so I don't want to take away from what other people may recommend. And those are ones you can apply for. You don't necessarily have to test for. Colorado is also another hell state.
Yeah, I would say like what Travis said, Minnesota, Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah,
So like
North and
even
South
just put it in
Carolina,
there.
I think
Michigan's
just got
only
hit
$16,
recently.
so not bad to try.
You say North and South Carolina?
They just
Yeah, and if you're
recently
gonna do that,
got
I would do
hit. I know
Georgia.
that. And those are some of the states where hurricane winds kind of happen too, because they're on the coast. So you kind of get both of them.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, good point, Travis. We're only 6 weeks. You're welcome. Away from hurricane season. It'll come quick. A lot of
That's
times people
great.
don't even realize we've transitioned into that. So,
And the way this tornado season is looking, I know hurricane season is about to be active.
it is. Yep.
Yeah, they've been talking a lot about this hurricane season coming up.
Yeah.
Indeed. And we've had a lot of, tornadoes and storms in areas just randomly too. This first part of the year, I would say, where you think those additional licenses, go ahead and get them. That way you're ready in case you get a call somewhere that you're not licensed. Anyone have questions on any of those states we mentioned? I know we kind of went through, some of them are dropped in there, some of them we went through quick. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Ohio, Kentucky, Minnesota.
Indiana.
I'm still going to throw in Colorado. Colorado has a lot of random weather. Indiana, I think that was Kayvon. Maybe somebody just said Indiana.
Yeah.
I thought that was Kayvon or somebody else. All right. Holler at us though if you miss some of those and you need it, just let us know.
Hey, quick
Sorry,
question
some of
for
this
you,
is
Coach.
taken away. Just
quick question for you.
Uh-huh.
Where do you go apply for these licenses?
There you are.
Where do you go?
So there's you can
right.
go to each state site, but I would say you can go to NIPR and apply for licenses. So NIPR.com. Are you dropping that, Trav? Sorry. I saw your hands move. I don't know if you were typing or not, but
Yeah. And I
you can also
typically
go to
Sercon.
Sercon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sercon is a common one. And the nice thing about both of those sites we just mentioned is you can actually keep an eye out there to know when your licenses will expire, when you need to renew them, if you need to change your address, if you move. So let me say that too, because a lot of people that aren't in this industry fully yet don't understand that. If something happens and you move, technically you have an obligation to notify those states within, a lot of them say within 30 days, 30 business days. You can be fined if you don't for certain states. So just don't let that time get away from you. It sounds minimal, I know, but I just want to mention it to you guys so you know in case something happens. You have a move coming up, put that on your calendar to get those dates updated. I mean, the get around licensing. I will just say this in case you are on the call and you're not licensed yet, you don't want to say that, or maybe you've taken the test and you weren't successful. I really want you to take time to map out what those next steps are to get you there. And if you need help or you have questions, let us know. If you need some support around questions or trying to help understand some of that material, I highly suggest if you're in that boat, and it happens to people. So, we just may be with the people that are on the call right now, just may not have run into that or may not want to talk about it. Really look at where you need to, what areas you're not doing well in for those tests, so that you can focus on those and study for those before the next round. And then I would say set some kind of time frame in your mind to get through that again. All right. So the next thing I wanted to really talk about was making sure I've said it, I think. I don't know how many weeks we've talked about this, but let's really do it right. So I'd like for someone to have more tenure, maybe. Okay. No, you're good. Thanks for letting me know, because I can't tell on my end normally. So we've talked before about different rosters to get on. So I'd like some of us to chime in. And I mean, this is my advice to y'all. We've got the time right now. So go out to these websites, pull them up. So when you get off here, you can get on those rosters. But let some of us throw some ideas of rosters to get on. So I know in the past you've heard people talk about, I'll throw out some that I've heard, some of them, some people that I've worked for, some of us have gone out with. QA claims is one that you hear a lot. I can drop some of this in the chat for some of y'all that may need it.
Alacrity is a big one.
Claims. Yeah, Alacrity, Crawford, and Pilot.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Pilot.
CRU.
CRU, yep.
Yeah, CRU is a really good one. Renfro, the best claims.
Wrong. All right.
And a lot of the time you can go on to
if we can.
adjuster portal.
The best RS is that.
.com.
All right. Renfro. The best. You said it's the best claims, right? Is that what you said?
The best claims, yeah. GRS is another big one.
Sorry, I think that's okay. Claims.
And I just would like to add that, I mean, depending on your personality, this may be too much. For me, I like to stay organized. So like I have an Excel spreadsheet of my the licenses that I have when they expire. So I know, okay, these 4 expire all at the end of this year. Typically, it's usually December or around like March that they may expire. But having a spreadsheet of those things is very helpful. You are an independent assurance adjuster. Nobody's really, you might fall onto some rosters that may send out a reminder email, but for the most part, it's on you to remember to renew those. Like I know that this March, I mean, at the end of March, I had to renew 5 of my licenses for about $400. So, you might want to just kind of stay up on that for your own personal gain.
You definitely will want to. Those licenses, when they expire, or if you go into some kind of violation, there can be fines tied to it too. So just depending on who you are and how you like to organize things, would definitely be a good idea. If you're a phone calendar person, maybe tie it to there as reminders, things like that. Because one thing with this business, we've mentioned before, but a lot of times as you start working for firms, people tend to forget you are your own business owner. Right. So springing into action, they're not responsible necessarily to make sure, that Travis stays, compliant with Texas. So that's really his responsibility and his cost. And you got to keep in mind with this kind of job, you're hopefully on an assignment all the time, but sometimes you're going to have some downtime, right? So definitely something to keep, figure out what works best. Like you heard Janae say with spreadsheets, some people, maybe set calendar go back and check every so many months, because some of it until you get it in there and figure out what works for you. It's another part of springing into action, right? Is that self-awareness piece. If you need some help, again, thinking about good ideas. I like Janae's idea, putting it on a spreadsheet. That's a really good idea. And then maybe set yourself a calendar reminder every month, because some of the licenses expire at different times, y'all. So everything won't be 2 years. So going a little bit back over that, I guess to backtrack just a little bit on that. So good point, Janae. Thank you. They expire at different times. Some will be good for a year. Some are good for 6 months. Some are good for 2 years. And you also have to do what's called continuing education to keep those active going forward. Okay. And that continuing education you can find in many ways. A lot of times it's listed on social media. If you follow a lot of the companies that you're on rosters for, they'll offer it, through different avenues and at different times. So thank you, Travis, for that too about Sercon. All right. So we're getting on rosters. I'm curious if anyone's open to share, you can come off mute, you can drop it in the chat. How many rosters are most of y'all on? And I really don't want to hear, well, I do want to hear from the 360 leadership team, but I kind of want to hear from a few people that aren't on the 360 leadership team. So, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, nothing's good or bad, however many you've gotten on.
I'm not on any right now, but I was talking to you and Travis and
but Larry,
Demetrio.
You and I've talked this last week, and I know you're working on that, right?
Right. So now that I got everything that I need, I'm finna go on and get to the nitty gritty. Actually, I'm gonna get on as soon as we get off the Zoom.
Okay. Yeah. And I should probably say, I know I'm on here like, let's do it right now. I know that's not everybody's thing, so I was just trying to more or less want to help in case you're trying to do that, to get on and get your information on there. So whether you do it right now or later today, jot down those names, and make sure that you can follow back up. I would also highly suggest, once you get on their roster, I know a lot of them will text message you and things like that. I'd follow them on your social media, whatever it is that you're on, even if you're just on one platform, follow them. I work for one TPA or a firm, but I follow, I don't know how many firms because I always want to know, right? Like who classes, who's doing trainings, when they're hiring, what rate are they hiring these people? Like when a storm hits, I need to know, so we're competitive. So I follow a lot of firms that, I mean, some of them I probably don't know anyone that's ever worked for them, and then some of them, I know plenty of people that have worked for them. So I would also say, don't shy away from, if you're on some other, or you hear of another roster that you don't hear people talk about much, I don't know that I'd shy away from it. Do your research, read up on their reviews. Maybe if you have concerns, if you have questions, you can always drop any of us a message so we can talk with you about it. But for me, I would say, considering what the whole point of this business is, which is to get sent out on assignment when you're ready, you want to be on as many rosters as possible. When a storm hits, I can tell you, since I work for a firm, the market floods, right? So everybody's looking at their rosters ahead of time when forecast is showing different things and weather going crazy. And it's a pull of the market everywhere. Text messages are going out like crazy. I'm sure some of my people on here can attest, all of us can attest on here. Those messages start going off. You're starting to get emails. A lot of companies, depending on the clients they're working with, they're even trying to get ahead of it. So as soon as there's storms forecasted, I don't remember who that was the other week that had shared, hey, you know what? I'm already getting a text message saying, hey, there's storms anticipated. We may need so many people, right? So it can't hurt. And I say that to say, because sometimes people will think, well, no, I really just want to be on like 2 or 3 rosters. And that's really up to you. Again, this is your business and how you choose to spring it into action and shift gears, right? On how quick you may have that opportunity. I would say get on, as many rosters as you're comfortable with, because when a storm hits, it's a pull of the market. It's a real quick pull of the market. And a lot of people are on a lot of different rosters, right? So you just want to give yourself that opportunity if you would like to. And if you're ready to. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm demanding over here. I just want to help you if you're ready to just get into that part. Any questions from anyone about rosters or other names of a firm maybe that you've heard about? You have questions? And really, y'all, there's no dumb question. So please don't feel like you ask about a roster maybe you haven't heard us talk about. Doesn't mean some of us we may have worked for them. We may have had friends or family that have. So I don't want you to think just because we haven't mentioned them, it's not a good organization. There's a ton out there I probably haven't even named off and like I said, I follow a ton of them on LinkedIn.
I had a thought on that, on the roster situation. Coach, can you hear me? Okay, so my thought was to leverage the community.
Yep,
And what I
can hear
mean
you.
by that is this. Yes, we're on rosters, but some of us in here have relationships with managers, and our word becomes something strong to where if we refer somebody, they automatically get somebody else on because you referred them, because your work quality is good. So I would say to reach out to the firms by calling them, but more importantly, hit people up in the community who knows people who knows people. Because you have no idea who can put you in position to win, who can put you in miracle territory, right? So leverage the community, because Coach Kedro, you were talking about this last month about referrals. Referrals are a big deal because it makes everything easier, because they know that if you are on your game, you're going to associate with people who are on the game as well. So that's kind of what was on my mind about the roster situation. So
Yeah. No, I agree. And it never hurts to keep in touch with people that you know or leaders you heard Janae earlier. So good idea for sure. All right, well, let's jump into, I'm going to drop two other things that we want to jump into on here, and just being mindful of time. You've heard us before on calls also talking about when we prepare, what's the checklist that we get together. So I just highly want to go over some high level points that kind of feed into the next one about making sure your affairs are in order. So you want to make sure you have a legible resume. I would highly suggest, while you're getting ready and you're springing into action, look over that resume, have somebody else take a quick glance over. And the only reason why I say a second set of eyes doesn't hurt is even those of us that feel like we're most prepared, there could be something misspelled, which I know most of y'all are gonna say, words should catch that now, right? Yes, you're right. Maybe just double checking how the phrase is done, making sure that there's not something else someone else thinks of when they're looking at that resume. I know for myself, a lot of times when I've recommended people to my VP, sometimes when I'm talking to my VP about things and we're grabbing resumes for different things or getting them referrals, even if it's a referral, and I will look at that resume. If the resume is a mess, it's a little tough to want to, pass that on, because I have to think about that when I'm passing on a referral, right? If I'm referring somebody else and the resume is rough, and I know for some of y'all that doesn't sound like a big thing, but a lot of times we get resumes, you can't tell if somebody worked auto, property, were they in the field, at the desk, what did they do? And so just really read back through it and make sure it shows your skills and abilities. And then one other thing I'd say is make sure you list on there what kind of systems you've worked on. And maybe you're new to the industry, so you don't have that yet, but that's something you can add later. Add on your active licenses on that resume, even if you're starting out and there's 3, right? Because what'll happen is sometimes with that firm, they'll still get you on their roster. They're gonna get you on that roster, and they're gonna still note, well, Clifton, sorry, I'm just picking on you because I'm looking at your picture, but Clifton has 3 states that he's licensed in, and that way when we get something else in, we can call him first, for Indiana, because we know he's got that. So don't shy away from that, even if you only have minimal licenses, or if you only know minimal claim systems, because the whole point is you're gonna learn other systems, phone systems, things like that. So just something to keep in mind. As far as together, really think I'm an Excel spreadsheet person for bills, right? So I know who I owe, anything out there outstanding. What does it look like that I still owe? When is that due date? Because when you get called out, whether it's at the desk or at the field level, sometimes those days ramp up really quick to 6 or 7 days a week 10 to 12-hour days. And sometimes that, maybe someone else typically handles that for you. Maybe you handle it yourself, but you're used to, I mean, everybody has different things, right? Some people still get paper mail, some people get it through email, whatever it is, I'm not judging. Just make sure you have that somewhere where it's easy to find. You've heard other people talk about making sure your car is ready to go in its maintenance, whether at the desk or at the field level. You may be called out to drive somewhere and you want to make sure, you're not going, I needed tires, 2 months ago while I've been waiting to spring into action. And now, I need to get that done. I can't tell you enough. I mean, when I was in the field, I only did it for a year because I went over into another company, but having my affairs in order and making sure I had somebody at that time, if I did have stuff coming in the mail, if I had packages coming, appointments that I needed to get together, I was thankful that my cousin, that's like a sister to me, we lived like 2 blocks away from each other at the time, right? And then for a while, we actually lived together, so I didn't have to worry about it. I could adjust without having to think about some of these other things and whether I'm leaving and it's freezing temps into my area, and did I leave my heat on and now it's gone, completely haywire or something. But really down and think about things that you would need to handle if you're not home. So whether some of y'all are home alone, you're single, you're by yourself, maybe you and a pet or something, or even if you have a significant other, they may not live. So really figure out the things you need to handle. Some of y'all help with parents. You help with appointments, maybe you help with nieces and nephews, or maybe you have children that aren't in the home 100%, or even a pet, and that doesn't, some people like, well, the pet you can board. Yes. But do you know what that looks like? What does that expense look like? Is who's going to go check in on that pet if you're gone for for 2 months? Are you really going to leave the pet at a boarding center for, I'm not judging you when I say this, for 2 months and not see a friendly face? I don't know. So whatever your thing is what I'm saying. Like, take some time to really figure out what that is and what, we talk a lot about what your why is, but the things that are near and dear to your heart that you have to make sure you have taken care of. If you're on medication, and I say medication, I mean, that could be as small as an inhaler. If you're an asthmatic, I don't know about you, there are times when my asthma flares, I can't afford for my inhaler. I can afford to wait to okay, let me find the CVS that can now fill that order. So think about the things, all of that. Maybe you have allergies, right? Maybe you have really bad allergies. Some people don't, thank goodness, ever deal with them. Some people it's really bad and you have to have certain medication, whatever that is. Even if it's your daily supplements, right? B12, fish oil, I don't know what you take, but get those things in order, have them ready. And I would almost dare you to pack a separate bag to have ready to go on the road. You've heard a lot of us talk about that. I know when I was in the field, after I came home, washed and cleaned everything up, dry cleaners, whatever I needed to do. And then I had totes ready to go. So my transit van, when it was time to go, is just pulling those totes. And when we talk about that, I didn't put this on here, but this is something that's come up as you feel judged. This is something we've talked about quite a bit, not only those things that you need to make sure you have in order, but if you're on a certain diet, certain health things you need to watch. I think someone mentioned the other week, I think a few people on here mentioned their air fryer was really big, right? So do you have a separate air fryer? And if you take the one from home, are you leaving the people at home without certain things that are significant to them to be able to still function every day, right? Or do you need to look into, maybe I need to get a separate one that I can travel with, so then I'm not leaving, my daughter, my wife, or husband, or whatever, or the kids without, the air fryer and things like that. So really think about those things now so that you can get ahead of it. Any questions on any of that stuff that you have concerns on, or anyone on the team that wants to share? I know a lot of y'all have shared before what you do to kind of get in order and making sure things are pre-packed. Everyone good? All right.
Great job. You hitting it. Having your affairs in order is a big deal. Makes life easier or smoother, because it's chaos when you get that call because you got to go. You got because you got to map your route out. Make sure everything's together. So as you're talking, you want to make sure you take as much stuff, as far as thinking, off the table as you can, so where you can go in peace versus in chaos. Peace is a big deal. So I
Yeah, when
love
that
that.
call, sometimes there's not a lot of time to do that. I don't know. When I was in the field, this still dates me a little bit. We had a BlackBerry, right? So that BlackBerry would go off, and there was a cat call, and then it was
Well, that's
like,
like you old right there, man.
right. Then it was like playing that
I had
route.
one.
So that was one of my, one of our things that went off. There was a schedule of a cat call. You got on that cat call, and you were planning your route. So, and then you were looking to see who else was on that deployment with you that you knew, because some of y'all want to follow each other out. So, yeah.
Don't
But
you love it? I can't wait.
yeah, it was
Me
good
too.
times for sure. Good times for sure. Um,
Y'all plugged in
all
with
right,
QA.
so
That's we going. Go ahead.
we don't have much longer left, but the last thing I really wanted to just make sure we talk through is additional trainings. Oh, I'm sorry. Kayvon, were you saying something? I think I've got a delay, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm talking over some of y'all.
Yeah, I think so. I was just joking. I was just saying something about QA because I know Travis and Kandace. That's what they've been working with.
Oh,
But you good? Go ahead.
Travis, I think that was the hint from Kayvon saying, hey, Travis,
Oh,
you
I
get a
got
call from
him.
QA. I'm
Hey, I
on
got
there,
him.
right?
Anytime I get a call
Yeah.
from somewhere, I call everybody that I can. I say, hey, hit him up. Hey, hit him up. Hey, yo, hit him up. Go ahead, please. Get on this deployment. That's my first thing I really do before I get going. So share the wealth with people. Share it, man. Share it, because I promise you they'll share it with you too. That's actually a big deal, huh, Dylan? Sharing the wealth, man. 'Cause if you don't, and no one likes you, and you don't like anyone else, then it's a very lonely game. So Larry Legend, share it with Cliff. My bad, Clifton. My bad. I don't want my bad, Clifton. Share it with him. And I won't say Cliff again, okay? I'm sorry about that, brother. He get mad now.
I saw Clifton smile though. Well, that is huge. And I will say, even at my level, I get calls from people. I don't know where they got my number from. I don't know who they are. They don't bother to tell me I was referred from Kayvon. Like they just start talking to me like I've worked with them and I don't know who they are. So, and a lot of times that's all they want to know. Do you have any open deployments, anything coming up soon? Can I send you over updated resume? Just different things. So those referrals do go a long way. But the last thing, I know we're getting close on time, was just really thinking right now, we've been talking about this. What additional trainings do you need? Think about where you find those, what's the cost and the timing of those while you still have time to do that. I know many of y'all are still working other jobs at the same time, so I don't want to make light of your time right now. I know y'all are not necessarily just sitting waiting, but that's something to think about. So if you're newer to this, if there's questions you have, are you connecting with this community and the resources to ask those questions? Definitely, I know a lot of y'all are having conversations with different ones of us about things, which helps. But if there are some trainings that come up, I know we've been trying to drop those in the Discord, which is something I feel like our team has done a better job of, and hopefully we'll continue to do great for you all, dropping that stuff in the Discord. I think it was Janae that had a whole stream of like a week of QA classes that she was like, hey, QA's got this going on for like a week or two. Let make sure you get there. And then we've been trying to drop more of those so you guys have that visibility in case you don't follow some of these people or these teams yet, then about those trainings. But I would highly suggest an Excel spreadsheet to think about. Like I just put on here, what trainings do you feel like you need? Where can you find them? How much they're going to cost? How much time do you need to complete them? And then start making a plan from there, right? As you're continuing to shift up and to drive and move forward, what's that going to look like for that plan? Even if it's not something you can't get all of them done necessarily, maybe before you get that first call out, but then you have something to shoot for and a goal, right? So make sure you do that. If you need a template of that, just shoot me a message. I've got them all on an Excel PowerPoint, an Excel spreadsheet, most of these charts. So just let me know. Because some people I know are probably like, I don't really use Excel, or it's not really something I have time to do. Just let me know. I got you. So outside of that, when I say trainings, I wouldn't, this is where you have to kind of know yourself, right? Like we can help give some advice and have some transparent conversations with you, but the same meaning that I mean, not the same training that Janae needs. So some of those things we're going to preach to you guys or advise based on what we know can help build the skill set regardless. And we can help you prioritize those just because of what we've been through ourselves, but we would definitely be open to talking to any of you all if you have questions about, a training you want to sign up for and you're not sure whether you should do this one first or that one first and get some advice. I know the other week, I think it was Travis that dropped something in about a flood course, or somebody on the team. Travis, sorry if that wasn't you, but somebody dropped something in about a flood cert. So make sure too, you're checking the Discord, right? Major and team, our marketing team, they're always dropping stuff on our social medias to make sure you guys are getting the latest information we have in reference to, again, trainings and certifications, things like that. And so if you don't pay attention, I know the Discord for me, it always drops me a little message and then it keeps a number coming through as a reminder until I hit it. So if you don't have those notifications turned on, make sure you do that as well. Any questions on trainings and what to take, when, and all of those things? Someone asked me the other week about, oh, sorry, somebody was starting to talk.
Oh, go ahead. I was just saying, what is the dispo?
Oh,
I don't believe I have.
I'm sorry. I think I said dispo, but the Discord.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know why
okay,
in my head I've been
Discord.
thinking about
Yes,
I don't
Major could drop
whatever.
it
I
in
don't
the
have
chat
that
for us.
either
Sorry.
though. But I was just trying to figure out
Okay.
where to get that from.
Yeah, Major
So it
could
is an
drop it in the
app.
chat for us.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you're right, KJ. It is an app that we've been using to kind of just like communicate with each other. So check that out. I'll definitely be trying to this week I'll look to put some of those firms, their websites on there to try to make it a little bit easier to see how to navigate and where to go to add yourself to the roster. And any future upcoming trainings I try to put in there too. I'll look for like any email addresses that I had that I was reaching out to. I'll try to put that in the chat this week as well, just so that everyone can really try to put their best foot forward, communicating with some of these firms.
Okay.
And yeah, Major just put it in the chat just now.
All righty.
And Larry, I'll shoot those over to you. I have your email address, so give me just a bit. I'll shoot those charts over.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So you're welcome. So for me, that about finishes it up. I'll leave you on with two things though. I haven't said this today on this call, but really take a moment and evaluate yourself and your mindset. If you have some things that you're not sure whether you can be on the road right now, trauma things you haven't dealt with that may trigger you with some of these things that are going on in the field, really evaluate that and see what help you need before putting yourself in a situation that could be tougher than you may know how to handle. Not to discourage anybody, and I'm not saying you don't go on the road yet. What I'm saying is reach out for the resources, right? Let's talk about it. The second part I'll say to that is, today, hopefully, for some of y'all that maybe haven't gotten through some of these points, hopefully it was helpful. If you need anything from us, resources on these things, again, please just reach out. We're just a phone call, a text, a message in the Discord away. We really want to help make sure everybody is driving towards, driving towards spring and action. That sounds weird. You don't drive in spring. So either way, springing into action, however you're gearing into that, we hope it's all positively. And we just want to be able to help wherever we can. This community, that was the vision, from Dr. Brock for sure. And so why a lot of us are here and continue to stay here. So please don't hesitate. No question is too small. No question is dumb. I promise you, if you're thinking it, we've all either been through it or thought it probably already before. So please, even if it's a claims question, and you're not sure how to address it, just let us know. We're here for the support. We really appreciate you guys. We look forward, like I'm with Janae. I think we're all excited as you guys get deployments and things come through to celebrate those with you all. And again, if there's anything else we can do, just let us know. All right. And turn this back over to Kate.
Is this the
Thank
one?
All
you,
right.
KJ. That was great.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So with that being said,
Yes.
that was some great information.
That's it. Okay.
Everyone, let's stay ready. So we'll have to get ready. Be prepared for these phone calls coming back up. Again, fill out our feedback form if you haven't already. If there's something else that we missed, or you guys didn't speak up about it in this meeting, in this gathering, please fill out the feedback form. Just let us know what some more things that you want to hear about. But also, like we said, with the calls coming back around, don't forget we're challenging everyone when you get on that road. Let's get that 100K in a month, 100K club challenge. And I would like to invite everyone in here to come back next Sunday for another Laboratory of Redemption for week 42. We will have a guest speaker, Janae, 360's on, and also we will have Tyree as well next week. He will be giving us he will be briefly discussing daily claims next week, which, if some of you are familiar with daily claims, that's what some people are doing right now during this kind of like slow season. Some firms, some rosters will give you claims like daily, as far as you just go out, you inspect the home, and you take pictures for it, but it's not the full process of what we do when we're deployed. So
Right.
please tune back in next week to get some more information and insight about that. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see and hear what you got to say next week, Janae. It's your time to shine.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm hoping that some people in here with some more experience than me could also, chime in, maybe teach me something too. That'll be cool.
Yes.
But yeah, you definitely want to tune in. Definitely want to tune in.
Definitely. Thank you, everyone, for coming out.
All right, y'all. Thank you.
See y'all next week.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah, Larry. Yeah, Larry. Gotta get you on some rosters, man. I worked it out for you, brother.
Yeah,
You know,
this week I'm gonna work on that.
You
So
say what?
download it, download the app, and get on there. I'm gonna try to put a few links up on there.
I'm actually trying to work it out right now.
And you definitely want to figure out which certifications you want to look into. I'm not sure if you already have any, but you definitely want to, get those certifications into.
You gotta stay farm, right, Larry?
But yeah, you got to get on the
certification,
rosters. This is the week, Larry. This is the week.
State
You got to get on those rosters.
I got my state farm, and I got that flood from FEMA.
That's big.
So you are on. So you are on at least
big.
one roster then. You're on one roster then, for sure.
Okay.
Oh, for that one for Crawford. Was it Crawford?
Yes. The flood.
I think it was.
Crawford, right?
I think that was.
But yeah, so just look out for some of that information this week. I'll be sure to be in there. I'll be active this week.
Okay.
But yeah, Cliff, man, you ready to get this thing, Cliff? You've been around for a minute now, ready to do it. How's the wife doing? She excited about everything?
Yeah, man, we're good.
Cool, man.
We're
Hey,
good.
that's the biggest thing right there. Make sure that she's all in, because if she's not, it can be a tough deal for you. I'm saying it from watching experiences and from my own personal experience, So let's make sure that she on board, know what's going on. What up with you, Meech? How the car doing, brother?
Oh. Okay, there I go. Woo! Man, it's been busy, man. I'm a mechanic now. I just want you to know I'm a mechanic.
Get it all done now. Get it all done now before it's too late.
I'm a mechanic now, man. I just want you to know, you know what I'm saying? Call me Mr. Mechanical.
You got the, the greasy fingers now? The dirty fingernails?
Man, I've been trying to get this stuff out my nail. My whole hand black. Yeah, man. I'm bona fide now, baby. What's head? Let me know if you got any truck issues, man. I'll put the motor in next time. Let me know, and I'll do your motor for you.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I got you, dog. I got you. What's up, everybody? I hope everybody's well, man.
What up, me? Dang, my fault. I just joined the meeting all type of late. My fault, y'all.
Man, yeah, things going on.
Marty Ma. What up, dog?
Hey, Trav, I think I just sent you a request on this thing, man. I think that's it.
On the Discord? Or on something else?
I think it's Discord. Yeah, okay. Discord.
Hey, Larry, man, you inspired me, man. You talked about you went back and watched the old meetings or whatever on YouTube. I went back and watched them as well. hey man, folks, you know, they got it, man. I got excited because I know what's possible, what's happening, what has been. I look forward to the new stories of, you know, you, Cliff, Lamar, all the folks,
Yeah.
you know, really sharing their experiences because it's definitely possible for those who believe it's possible.
Right. Right.
And actually stay strong through the entire process because sometimes it just don't make sense. Like this whole
True.
thing doesn't make sense. It
True.
just doesn't make sense at all.
True.
But what's cool about it, this thing been around 90 years as far as independent adjusting. So this isn't some fly by night, just happen kind of a situation. Insurance
Right.
companies get overwhelmed by claims and they need us. And you know, the biggest thing is make sure that we're in position to be needed. You know what I'm saying? If you're in
Right.
position to be needed, they will never call you. If you ain't in
Right.
position, if you don't have your stuff together, how they gonna call you? You know, if you ain't in
Right.
position, they don't know who you are. So I love that's what you guys are doing now. Yeah, that's exciting to me, man. That actually gets so much joy for me because I just really look forward to celebrating, talking to everybody about you. You know, bragging, hey, you know,
Man,
check them
look,
out. You know, it does something too.
man, forget all that, Larry. I'm looking forward to borrowing some money. I need some money,
Oh,
Larry.
okay,
That's
yeah.
what I'm looking
Hey,
forward to
me
borrowing
too.
some money, man. When you get all that money, I need to hold something. I need to hold something, man.
You hear that, Clifton? You hear that, man? You know?
That's all I need. Just some people I can go to and ask for a few dollars, man. Every
Hey
now and
man,
then.
I
I'll get
got
that
you.
money, man.
I definitely got this family right here, man. For
Already. That's all. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about, man. These groceries getting high out here. It's expensive
Well,
out
you
here.
ain't
Hey,
lying.
also, man, it's okay though. You know?
You ain't lying. I went and brought like 4 items the other day and spent $50. I said, what did I
Man,
say?
come on now. Come on now. I be like, man, I should have went on the Whataburger. God dang. Yeah,
For real.
whoa.
For
Hey,
real,
Trav, I had a
man.
question, man.
What's
So,
up?
so we took the what was it called, like the FEMA class and stuff like that to get the what's it called, the FCN or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Flood
Like,
control number.
what's like, yeah. So after that class, like, what's like the follow up stuff after that? Like, cause I did it, but like, what now? What I gotta do?
I'm gonna text you a screenshot of what they said as
Okay.
far as the emails you got send a couple emails. Now, what's really cool about it, automatically you have 6 hours of continuing education. You have 6 hours
Mhm.
automatically of that because you have to have 24 every two years and all 3 years of ethics. So every year I say the flood class that's an easy 6 credit hours. Easy 6 because if you don't knock out the CE and your license expire, you are not working. It's over. Nothing you can do. Do not pass. You're stuck. So always, I would suggest like within your first year and a half or so, get that done because you don't want to be sitting in the last minute trying to cram to get this clean education done. All of a sudden you're on deployment and then you behind, then you stressed out, and then your plans will get taken away from you because you become illegal. So I would suggest, I know I'm saying a whole lot, Lamar, but I'm emailed to you that that screenshot. But more importantly, you have those 6 credit hours. That's why I was saying, Cliff, I sent you that FEMA link because they only have like a few more classes left for the year, and once that's done, it's done until
So
next year.
do I need to
And
do
they're
I
free
need to do
classes
that
as
too?
well. Yes, I'm a screen. I'm seeing the screenshot. I'm seeing the screenshot as well. But the biggest thing for you too, Larry, is you got 6 hours already continuing education, so that's a big deal. And then once you begin going to different conferences, you'll begin getting all your credit hours as well from that, to where it can be, you know, along the process.
So that class that
Like
I'm in May 1st, does that go towards credit hours too?
no, that doesn't. That's just
Okay.
you know, that's just a you know
Just
next steps
okay. That's
licensing wise. Yeah,
just a
that's just
one-on-one.
an
Oh,
information session. Yeah, that's just an information session. That's all it is. There's nothing, you know.
okay.
But yeah,
Cool.
man.
I
Yeah,
just feel
man.
like
So
right now, like, it's a lot of stuff that, like, since deployment, like, that I still got to catch up on that I haven't been doing. Like, I haven't bought any more licenses and like any like stuff like that. And I feel like I should be doing it because right now I
yeah,
only
go ahead and do
have
that.
yeah, for sure.
You know, I say Michigan because Michigan is like $26. It's
Oh,
not very much for us.
I think somebody put on here is $6. I mean $16.
No, But then you got to add on top of the processing fee from the companies.
Oh,
from
I guess you.
Sircon or
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Nipper,
Right.
whoever it is. They have processing fees, so
Right.
that's correct. However, the checkout,
They
hit
want
that
them
checkout
taxes.
button. they have to make a little money off of it too. It's just what it is. What you gonna do about it?
Right.
And also too, when you get Georgia, you have to get a signed affidavit. After you apply for it, you got to get that. It's easy. You can go to the bank or whatever, have them sign, because you got print off the Georgia State, Department of Insurance. So you got to get that printed off and get that signed and sent in, and also Florida, because there are some licenses that you got to do stuff for. But if you don't do stuff for them, you can't. They want to prove you.
Okay.
So Georgia and Florida, you got to get those affidavits signed. And for Florida, you got to do fingerprints.
Okay.
You just pay for it, but you gotta do the fingerprints. Like, you gotta get that done. Because if you don't get that
That
done,
was gonna be another
you will
question.
not work there.
Yeah, that was gonna be another question. Like, because I know for the Texas when we had to send our fingerprints in and stuff like that, I didn't know if that was everywhere.
No,
Okay.
that'll be for
Just
Florida,
Florida.
or if you get New York, or you get Hawaii or
Maybe Hawaii.
California.
Yeah.
You gotta do them. Yeah,
Okay.
those you gotta pay for. Test for or whatever. So I suggest so get Florida for sure, because hurricane season is six weeks away. And just from I've been nerding out watching. I'm just watching all the warm weather when it comes to the oceans. And then it's ridiculous. I'm nerding out about it. So you want to get those coastal states, the Louisiana, the Mississippi's,
Gulf
Florida
Coast.
for sure. There you go, Gulf Coast. There it is.
Okay.
Gulf Coast states.
Yes, sir.
Get
All
your
right, I gotta get
tornado
on it.
alley.
Well,
Get your
fellas, I'm gonna
tornado
let y'all
alley.
go.
Nah,
Trav,
man, you can't leave. No, you can't leave. No, you can't leave, dog. No.
Hey,
You
man,
came late.
you know, I'm
came
up
late.
at it early, so you gonna hear from me anyway, either way it go, yo, man. You know what I'm saying? You hear from me every day.
Hey,
All right, man,
Travis.
go.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
Travis. So,
Yes, sir.
so I have my Texas license and my digital fingerprints when I applied for Texas. Now I want to go and get the other state licenses. Do I just go into the Sircon site and apply through there? Is that how it works?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
I got it.
And the
If
one
I
cool
need
thing
anything,
about
I'll call you.
and also one more thing, the cool thing about Sircon, if you join their portal situation, it's like $20 a year, whatever it is. They organize licenses for you,
Yeah,
and also they organize continuing education hours for you as well.
but I can
That's something
apply for all
that's a
my
big deal.
licenses. I can apply for all the states like Michigan, Indiana,
Absolutely.
through Sircon.
Except for Washington. Instead of Washington, you have to go to the Department of Insurance for Washington. You can't apply through there. You got to go to the state of Washington. That's like the
And
only
if I
state you got
need
to do
to
that
submit fingerprints like for Florida, can I use the fingerprints that were already digitized for Texas?
No.
now. Yeah, I was about to say that. I was like,
No.
you gotta just go
No,
do
you
it again.
cannot.
I was like,
No, you
you gotta
cannot.
just go do it again.
They
You gotta
require
go
their
do
own.
it, same thing, though, same place and all that?
Same process.
Okay.
Yeah, same process.
Yeah. Florida is his own animal.
Mm-hmm.
They got gators in
but once you
Florida,
got it,
man.
you
You
got
gotta
it.
take a pistol when you go down there, right?
Hey,
They got gators.
yeah.
So
They will be out.
does Oklahoma what does Oklahoma require? Or is it just
Pay for it. Just pay for
okay?
it. Yeah, you just pay for that one. And you just pay for that one.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll probably do Oklahoma and Michigan today, man. Trying to get them
If
out
you
the
want to
way.
get your tornado alley ones, your Oklahoma, Arkansas, the ones that active and stuff like that, yeah, get those, man.
So
Okay.
all of them. So all the licenses don't cost $100.
Heck no.
No.
Okay. All right.
Hey, I asked that same question too, bro. Don't feel bad.
Right.
Hey, man,
Did I ask?
man.
Hey, and the crazy
That's
part,
a good
I think
question.
I asked both of them. I asked Travis and I asked the bishop.
Yeah.
I want to make sure.
I was looking at
I
some
want
of
to
them.
make sure.
Hey.
Yeah, they all not there. But some
I
of them,
heard
some of them
$16. I'm like, okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna get all of these. I'm gonna get all 40 of these. Yeah. No.
Right.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But
All right,
you
fellas.
gentlemen have a good one, man.
You too, man.
Peace
See
out.
y'all later, man.
All right, man.
Y'all have a good week.
Peace.
Peace.